Jay-Z, you're just like Diddy. I can't stand your arrogant, condescending attitude. Nicki posted a video of you wearing a pink wig, and I retweeted it. Nothing more. You deserved it. Everyone knows about our feud. It's been going on for over 20 years. I've seen all your manipulation in the industry, from power struggles to cultural control. In 2015, when Tidal launched, Nicki helped you build it from nobody to a successful platform, and you immediately pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. Lil Wayne was qualified for the Super Bowl, but you kicked him out of personal grudges. How is that any different from Diddy forcing his artists to sign unfair contracts? Just because Nicki didn't align with him, he resorts to this kind of suppression. You're truly despicable. What's even more interesting is that right after I showed him and his father's photo in the documentary Sean Combs: A Reckoning, you immediately had your lawyer send me a warning letter saying I overstepped my bounds. When you wrote the lyrics to exonerate Diddy back then, why didn't you think about today? You say the film is malicious slander, but why don't you dare sue me for defamation? Because all the evidence I have is true. I haven't finished reporting the witnesses in my documentary, and I haven't released all the Tidal profit sharing documents. If you know what's good for you, pay back what you owe Nicki with interest. Don't wait until I make Jay-Z Reckoning 2, by which time even Beyonce's PR...
Your favorite villain? Your favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy. When people say I'm a troll, I say, I don't know why you're saying I'm trolling people. I'm doing what you conditioned me to do.
I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so you image yourself after a gay painter. Your big homie want to look like a painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a painter.
The message is straightforward. 50 Cent says a legal move from Jay-Z pushed him to reveal his true character to the public. He describes this moment as the point where behind-the-scenes pressure turned into an open conflict. In his telling, Jay-Z isn't distant or passive, but strategic and controlled, hiding power behind a smooth, professional image. He connects the dispute to nearly 20 years of tension and claims Jay followed a similar playbook to Diddy, just with stronger branding and more polished public relations. The conclusion is unsettling. When influential figures try to silence a story, they often make it seem more real and harder to ignore.
Jay-Z says that he is not friends with Diddy. Y'all know that Diddy is about to be mad about this because Jay-Z's lawyer is saying that Jay-Z has not had a friendship or a bond with Diddy at all. Alex Spiro just sat down with NBC and said that Jay-Z is not friends with Diddy. There is no friendship or longtime bond between Jay-Z and Diddy, and just because they knew each other, that doesn't mean anything. Alex Spiro also said that Jay-Z speaks for himself and he speaks from a position of strength because he's completely innocent, and these claims are obviously fake, but it's upsetting that nobody wants to hear these things. We expect Mr. Carter to be cleared of this in the coming days. So you're telling us now that Jay-Z is denying his friendship and his bond with Diddy. I mean, this is something that we've seen multiple times over the years. Jay-Z and Diddy were like this. So I don't understand why Jay-Z's lawyer would even make a statement like this. The media archives do not lie, and Diddy and Jay-Z were always around each other in multiple different occasions. I'm talking about birthday parties. I'm talking about white parties. I'm talking about it all. I mean, let me be clear. That's obviously somebody that has no friendship or bond with somebody at all, telling them that they love them and hugging each other. I feel like Jay-Z might just have a big problem with this because everybody's been saying Diddy is going to open his mouth about other people. And now that Jay-Z is basically throwing Diddy to the side, who knows what's gonna happen? Jay-Z done messed up with this one. Oh God. I'm sorry, but the internet archives do not lie. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
The documentary then pulls back for a wider view. Some voices suggest that Jay-Z's billionaire status acts like a form of protection. What is often praised as Black excellence is seen here as a shield, not just a success story. The mood turns tense and personal as respect slowly shifts into doubt. Viewers are left unsure whether they're seeing real unity or a quiet agreement to protect one another. At this point, the focus moves away from specific claims and toward what it all represents. Who is being defended, and for what reason? The message is pointed. When a public image is treated as beyond question, honesty can start to fade.
Jaguar Wright told us that Diddy was being set up by Jay-Z. And this is the one thing I never forget, because she said, how do you guys not see the lineup? Jay-Z has lined up person after person over the years to stay number one, and he's not doing shit different than all of these other people like Diddy and R. Kelly. The first person she named in this lineup was D. Haven, and D. Haven and Jay-Z were childhood best friends. And D. Haven has spoke out against Jay-Z for years, saying that he believed that Jay-Z set him up with the feds to get arrested. Jaguar Wright also listed Big L, and Big L is who gave Jay-Z his start in the hip-hop industry, and then Big L was randomly murdered. And then Jaguar Wright talked about Jay-Z setting up Dame Dash and everything that he did to him during the Rockefeller days, and even said that Jay-Z took his love Aaliyah, and I mean by living her. Jaguar Wright explained that the only reason that Jay-Z treated Dame Dash this way is because he was so mad at the fact that Dame Dash got Aaliyah and that Aaliyah didn't want to be with him. And the crazy part is Dame Dash even confirmed this and talked about it.
The most fucked up shit was Aaliyah dying. That was the most fucked up shit. And all the shit I had to deal with that. You'd be surprised how people act when they think you're hurt. That's when they really start trying to make moves on you. But
that's when they try to make moves on you? That's terrible.
You remember that when that time I was beefing in Def Jam and shit? Like when I was they got that tape of me flipping on Kevin Lyles, and
right.
They made that meeting to do some shit behind my back. So that's when they go. And you know, business is ruthless like that. Life is ruthless like that. Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. And then she, like, it got brought up, and I was like, fuck both of y'all. But it never worked out for them, and we were both like trying to get at her. I kind of eased up, but then we ran into each other. It's a long story.
Was he bitter?
Obviously. Yeah, he felt the way.
The true reason of Rockefeller's breakup.
But everybody knows that shit. One of our last texts before she went there, because she couldn't text from there, and it was the BlackBerry at the time, was I don't like the plane. And I literally was like, don't get on it. I literally was like, don't get on it. But it was like, we were squashy. It's a long story, but I don't even get into it. But yeah.
No worries.
No, just shit. I don't really, not even that part, but just that's what it was. Like, she knew that plane was fucked up, but she got on it.
Did you hear what Dame Dash said? So Jay-Z was mad that Aaliyah didn't end up wanting him and wanting to be with Dame Dash, and this is what caused the whole Rockefeller incident. And then he even explained how Aaliyah knew that the plane that she was on was messed up and she didn't want to get on it. And now we know after years that somebody gave Aaliyah something that made her unconscious, and then she was carried onto this plane that she didn't ever want to get on. And this was after the fact that Hype Williams took the jet that Lenny Kravitz tried to give Aaliyah because she was scared of this plane. And Jaguar Wright has literally spoke about all of this, that Jay-Z is the one that set this up to happen because of his jealousy, to move his friends out the way, and to also help boost Beyonce's career at the time. And one part of what Jaguar Wright says gives me the chills is when Mary J. Blige was literally talking about Aaliyah's death, and she said that it was and the way she explained it as Mary J. Blige being Diddy's girl, and the woman that she was talking to being Free from 106 and Park, who allegedly had an affair with Jay-Z.
The memory of Aaliyah. Yeah, this is my crew. You know, we put, the flowers today, everybody wears them. This, I don't even know what to say. I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not. Because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring, you know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know, it wasn't. I believe it wasn't her time to go because, from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, you know, your gut always won you. Just that your gut never lies.
Then she explained how Jay-Z set up R. Kelly because he really wasn't doing anything different than what R. Kelly was doing. Jaguar Wright said that she believed that Jay-Z was the one that was behind making Surviving R. Kelly because his best friend, Dream Hampton, is the one that produced and made Surviving R. Kelly. As you can see, Dream Hampton is an American filmmaker, producer, and writer, and her work includes the 2019 Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly, and she also co-wrote Jay-Z's 2010 memoir Decoded. And Dame Dash said one of the reasons why he hated Jay-Z so much is the fact that he continued to work with R. Kelly after knowing everything that R. Kelly did to Aaliyah. He went on to do the Best of Both Worlds tour with R. Kelly after this, and this also caused more of the Dame Dash and Jay-Z feud that we saw, and it was super weird because at the time, Jay-Z and R. Kelly made a song called Guilty Until Proven Innocent. He explains that Jay-Z is basically moving all of these people out of the way to stay number one, and she said you have to see it because he is no different than all of these other people like Diddy and R. Kelly. This is why Jaguar Wright thinks that Jay-Z is the one that set up Diddy, and that's why so many people are coming out against Diddy after so many years. And not shit has been said about him. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Next, the story shifts to the surge of pressure. The documentary describes private claims as fuel, with the internet acting as the spark. Past disputes resurface, old clips are re-examined, and simple connections quickly turn into public blame driven by online momentum. It's shown as a critical moment where someone's reputation can be judged by the public long before any legal process begins. The warning is clear. In the age of algorithms, opinions often spread faster than verified facts.
And the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides. Go run and hide. Because what you did, the benefits you denied this community and this city and state, you have to live with that history forever.
The last conversation I had with 50 was basically him telling me to get whatever I left out there because some hiatuses were planned and some weren't. We did something special that will never be done again. Honestly, there are more positive moments than anything else. I can't cry about.
But you gotta understand, working for somebody like 50 and it's a lot of pressure because it's like that man don't know what laziness is. All he do is eat, sleep, shit, business. That's it. So it's like if you don't have that mentality around him, he's gonna look at you as you're lazy. So Banks learned everything from 50. I learned everything from 50. You gotta work. You know, the shows we doing 2 hours, get on the jet, go ahead, go to the next country. Yo, we gotta be on point, never late. We go to the venue before him because it's the work ethic. People don't, but they're gonna always look at his work because he's you know, he's the biggest artist. But when you see his work ethic, when you see a guy that's a multi-millionaire working harder than artists he got or artists that don't even have nothing, it's like I try to tell people all the time, like, it's crazy because a lot of these artists you see that's successful, they just see the success. They don't see what Future doing or Drake doing or what Billie Eilish is doing. They might not be sleeping. They got publicists, they got shows, they got, you know, Rihanna. You don't know what these artists is going through working. They're working. So of course they're gonna look at you like, yo, you a little lazy. You gotta put that work in. And of course Banks putting that work in now, but it's like, you gotta put that work in. I learned that from Fifth. Like you talking about a guy that's probably never been late ever. I was a little bit late here, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And I said, yo, my bad, Vlad, because I was taught never be late. You missed that flight. Say you missed that flight overseas for an overseas run.
That's it. You're just off that tour. You know how many
tickets have to get rebooked and we gotta catch you. It's everything people understand. Promoters, they book them tickets months ahead of time. They might book it a year ahead of time.
50 Cent's defense of his credibility is deliberate. He says he chose to keep his distance from Diddy's inner circle early on because something about it didn't feel right to him. That separation now becomes the reason he believes he can speak freely. He argues that he isn't tied down by shared responsibility or unspoken agreements. Whether people accept his version or not, the message is clear. He's presenting himself as someone who stayed on the outside by choice. The point is straightforward. Sometimes the strongest critic is the person who never pulled up a chair in the first place.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real thing. Real life street stars. Know what time it is.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
The Jaguar segment becomes the documentary's most emotionally charged moment. She makes serious claims about Jay-Z and speaks with the confidence of someone challenging the industry to push back. Her tone is intense and personal, clearly meant to spark a strong emotional response rather than careful discussion. The film presents her words as a personal account, not as confirmed fact, even though they remain and proven on screen. This creates a central tension. When someone speaks with deep conviction and visible pain, the public often treats it as truth, even when clear evidence is not shown.
Jaguar Wright has been vindicated by Rihanna's former publicist on her claims about Jay-Z and Diddy. Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay, has spoke out about his time when he worked as a publicist for an underage Rihanna, and he has been alleging that he was questioned by the feds about Jay-Z's alleged relationship with an underage Rihanna. Jonathan Hay claimed that back in 2005, the FBI came to him claiming that they were investigating investigating Jay-Z for an alleged incident that happened with R. Kelly, and they wanted to ask him about a rumor that had been going around about Jay-Z being in a relationship with an underage Rihanna. Jonathan Hay said that when all of this Diddy stuff broke, he started to rethink everything that happened to him when he worked for an underage Rihanna and how the feds came to question him about Jay-Z's alleged relationships with underage females. He then started to question, was he really involved in something nefarious that he didn't know about when he worked for an underage Rihanna, because Jay-Z does have relationships with people like Diddy, R. Kelly, who he also says the feds brought up back in 2005 for an incident that happened between R. Kelly and Jay-Z, and Jay-Z's connection to Harvey Weinstein. After exposing everything that happened to him back in 2005 and when he worked with Rihanna, he then met with Jaguar Wright because he heard all of her claims that she has been saying about Jay-Z. Jonathan Hay said Jaguar Wright has connected a lot of the dots that people have been afraid to talk about and have wondered for years. And now I have just exclusively talked to Jonathan Hay, who is standing up for all of Jaguar Wright's claims, claiming that they have proof that Jay-Z is connected to all these nefarious people. So why isn't he being questioned? So I'm gonna go ahead and roll y'all this clip of Jonathan Hay explaining his thoughts on Jaguar Wright getting censored from Piers Morgan about her claims that she made about Jay-Z and Beyonce being connected to Diddy. And y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Piers Morgan, I'm surprised that you would retract and censor your uncensored show based on the words of Jay-Z and Beyonce. You would take their words, not any evidence, just simply their words. And you're taking the word of a man, Jay-Z, who is business partners with Diddy, R. Kelly, and Weinstein. That's who you side with. Jay-Z. However, we got receipts, bro. Your time is up. And now Ray J, he's also dissing Jaguar. He's dissing Jaguar because Ray J is friends with Diddy. And he's friends with Jay-Z. And he's friends with Beyonce. And Jay's defending, and Ray J, listen, Ray J's defending Beyonce because Jay-Z's a cuckold and he likes to watch Ray J, his wife. And that's the truth. Because you can look at my history with Rock Nation, with Jay-Z. I know that Jay's a cuckold. It's not a crime to be a cuckold. I'm not saying that. But Jay-Z and Diddy are both cuckolds who like to watch men, their wives, or their girlfriends. And Ray J, he's Beyonce. And that's why he's out here now defending Jay-Z, and that's why he's defending Diddy. Because Diddy, Ray J, listen, Ray J, Jay-Z, and Beyonce are all on the Diddy tapes. DJ Vlad, shut the yo. Shut up, bro. Listen, son, you're the reason why we are sometimes called culture vultures. You're all about the views, bro. Quit being fake. Quit lying. And how come you always have problems with women of color? Y'all need to man up.
The Jaguar segment becomes the documentary's most emotionally charged moment. She makes serious claims about Jay-Z and speaks with the confidence of someone challenging the industry to push back. Her tone is intense and personal, clearly meant to spark a strong emotional response rather than careful discussion. The film presents her words as a personal account, not as confirmed fact, even though they remain and proven on screen. This creates a central tension. When someone speaks with deep conviction and visible pain, the public often treats it as truth, even when clear evidence is not shown.
Because I know you heard the statement that, you know, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
I ain't know anything about that, man. I ain't know about, you know, Jay touching his, you know, ass. I gotta go see the video. I ain't hear about that.
Come on, man. Everybody's seen that. 50 even pointed it out. Excuse me. When they was in ATL on stage. Remember when 50 bum rushed the stage with them?
Yeah, I think I recall that.
When Puff came on stage, first thing he did was pat Jay-Z on that. But I forgot. That's your favorite rapper.
Hey, him and Pocket's 1A, 1B. But what's your issue with Jay, man? I ain't know you had an issue with him.
I'm never a fan of somebody that I was gonna knock out. And then we was at the, it was me, him, Ashley Kushner, Puff and them. We was all at the next game together. And he didn't even remember none of it. And I don't expect him to remember, but I remembered. You understand? And he told Puff, he said, yo, Puff.
Gene Deal's role comes from his insider perspective. He says the connection between Jay-Z and Diddy was strong enough to be obvious, not casual or distant. He dismisses the idea that their relationship was minor, pointing instead to public appearances, shared moments on stage, and a level of ease that suggests real familiarity. According to him, that kind of comfort doesn't happen by chance.
Yo, I heard about that Gene right there. That Gene got a mean left. Oh, you said that Gene a knock a out. Then he gonna come up to me and say, man, you look like, man, you a tear ass up. And I said to himself, I said, yo, no Diddy. Pause. Whatever. I said, he don't even remember. I was about to knock him the F out. He didn't even remember. He said to me to Laura. But that's how these guys are, man. They'll cause situations and cause problems, and then they'll forget what they done because they on a whole nother atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that he did, you gotta understand, you know, like now he'll say that they're kids because he's raising kids of his own. You understand? But how would you like it that if Blue Ivory, 15, 16 years old, 17, 18 years old, dating a in his early 30s? You're not gonna go for that. No matter what she came through in Hollywood. But you gotta understand, guys who was around there, we didn't know Jay-Z them ages. We didn't know these cats' age. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't having no beards and nothing like that. They was wearing low cuts. You understand? Clean face. I would have never believed when Jay was coming around the block, scooping up the young girls and stuff like that he was 30 years old. You know, if they 17, 18, 16 years old and they 22, you thinking they 22, 23, something like that, 24 years old? They mama and them need to check them. They daddy and them need to check them. But that's not that far off. But for somebody to be 30 years old in their 30s and they dealing with kids 16 years old, 17, 18 years, now that's a problem. That's an issue. And now he see that because he's raising kids. And he got a young daughter. I think he got another daughter that he didn't claim, and now he claiming them. These cats was doing a whole lot of stuff that people in the industry won't speak on. And then now that you're speaking on it and it's becoming where is that you can get on YouTube and you could talk about this shit and say what you seen or say what you heard, you understand, or what you know. Some people look at it being a problem. But these cats ain't street cats. They entertain us.
He also broadens the discussion to raise serious ethical concerns about how the industry treats young women, shifting the focus away from personal relationships and toward accountability. The conclusion is hard to ignore. When people on the inside begin pointing out repeated behavior, the public no longer asks if it's happening, but how long it has been going on.
I've been accused of shit that I haven't done before, and people don't scrutinize. I didn't get as scrutinized as he's getting, so I'm like, it's just odd to see him in that, getting looked at in that way by white people, like Jay does, yeah, like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, they turned the world real, like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. This is the first time he's not getting a pass with white media. Like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him, but drink champs can't get him out of this one, and neither can Charlemagne, because those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So he got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now because they on his head. But the question is why? Like why now? Because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. You're not going to win. Let's get a deposition or something. So I don't know why they get on his head so much, pause. But I never seen him, under this, I never seen him in this position to have to explain himself. Pause.
How you feel about the statement he came out with?
I mean, I didn't hear him say anything. I heard a piece of, like I said, for me, I'm doing an interview, so I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him if he is innocent. He needs to let people ask him questions, and he needs to be able to say his side of the story, as opposed to letting that lawyer talk. Because that lawyer, I don't trust that lawyer because I went to court with him. So to me, everything that guy says is, allegedly a lie, just based on my experience with going to court with him. I don't trust the Alex Shapiro dude. He's ill. He's an ill dude. He'll say anything. Like he crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have him talking for me. If he wants, I'm not gonna sit there and say nothing bad or good or defend or anything because it'll all play itself out. I just think it's kind of ill that they're on his head like that, and if he's, he should probably come out and say something. Like I believe right now, everybody needs to be transparent. Like back in the day, not saying something could have been like the wave, but that was before social media. So now that there's social media and transparency, if you got an issue, you don't let people speak for you. You should speak for yourself. Let people ask you questions and, go from there. That's what I would do.
So you don't think it was a good idea for his lawyer to speak for him?
Mm-hmm. It's been too many things said for too long. So I'd be like, yo, again, I'm telling you what I did. So I got accused of a sexual assault. I went through a full trial. The first thing I did is I made my statement.
Finally, the documentary puts motive and timing in focus. Dame Dash says the moment is unusual because Jay-Z usually avoids prolonged public scrutiny and suggests that staying silent can be the worst choice if you're innocent. Tony Yao adds context about rivalry, describing Jay-Z as distant, corporate power, while 50 Cent represents street-rooted, accessible influence. He implies the tension goes deeper than Diddy, touching on respect, exclusion, and control over hip-hop's inner workings. The ending raises a pressing question. Is this genuine accountability, or just the next person caught in the cycle? The main takeaway is striking. If power kept this story under wraps for years, what finally caused it to surface?